Welcome to New Money, where each week we explore the most innovative Chinese businesses and entrepreneurs. I'm Tracy Chang. When was the last time you went to the movie theater and bought tickets at the counter? Moviegoers' film viewing habits have changed dramatically thanks to the internet. Today, we'll look at how the use of technology changed the film industry.
Huang Yanhua is a huge movie fan, so much so that she recently participated in a moviegoer group called Co-Movie. The group has given Huang the opportunity to meet several of her favorite movie stars. It also recommended a ticket-buying app for her.
Picking up the tickets is really convenient. There's just one ticket machine. It's not like before when I had to find the right one. You can pick up your tickets immediately after you buy them. It's standardized and the machines are pretty as well.
China's movie theaters used to be packed with ticket machines from all of the big online ticket sellers. Ariadnes Thread, a company owned by Co-Movie, negotiated with the sellers and developed a machine that can print tickets purchased through all of the online platforms. That has made life much easier for moviegoers and the theaters.
Ariadnes Thread turned what was a complex process into an easy way of buying tickets. They've helped the moviegoers find better seats at the movies they want to see, faster. They've optimized the entire process. Moreover, you can also buy other things like snacks and movie merchandise through their program. That part is especially great.
Ariadnes Thread was established in 2011 and has since established relationships with more than 20 cinema companies and 2,000 individual theaters. When online ticket sales reached their boiling point in 2013, a single theater could have the ticket machines of more than 10 companies in its lobby.
We believed that this was a great opportunity. We could help movie theaters manage the entire ticket sales process, from their sales channels to visitors and offline service. So we made a system that we call CIAS, which is a smart management system for movie theaters. You could understand it as a way to solve a problem. It consists of an online platform, an offline system, and a national integrated system. This way, it can help the movie theaters enhance the performance of their software and the quality of their service, while also lowering costs. That was the idea that we started out from.
In addition to providing ticketing assistance to the theaters, Ariadnes Thread has also started to dabble in the sale of movie merchandise.
While we worked on the CIAS movie theater management system, we realized that theaters were still rather traditional when it came to merchandise sales. We were willing to help them reach an IT solution. First, this solution would include both software and hardware to help them reduce costs. Second, by creating a platform for movie merchandise, something like a mini Alibaba, I could solve a national or even international problem of distributing merchandise. In China, movie merchandise is still virgin land. If you want to dig for gold there, you will first have to build roads. So we took on the role of road builders.
2015 saw especially tense competition in the movie ticket market. Maoyan resulted from the merger of major group buy companies Meituan and Yanping and quickly absorbed almost half of the entire ticket market. That same year, WeChat's WeTicket merged with the online ticket company Kawara, creating additional pressure in the market. Liu Wanlan, the CEO of O2O analysis company Pintu360, shares his thoughts on companies such as Ariadnes Thread.
They deal directly with the movie theaters, providing them with system support, including ticket and seating services. They help the movie theaters with sales and integrating their internal resources. By doing this, they're hoping to avoid direct competition with the big companies.
Ariadnes Thread is already expanding from ticket services, merchandise and theatre management. It's begun to invest in every part of the industry chain, including production, promotion and distribution. The company defines itself as a big data internet company that's in the movie business.
Just a reminder, you can use your smartphone to scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to find the latest and all previous episodes of New Money. And to begin today's discussion, Professor Teng Jimeng joins me in the studio. He is the Associate Professor at Beijing Foreign Studies University. Thank you so much for joining me today, Professor Meng. So, from the first look of these companies, it's very confusing. Are all of these companies basically offering the same service, providing a platform for moviegoers to buy tickets online?
Right. Well, you're right. I think at the first stage, all these companies provide this kind of homogeneous products without any real distinctive differences, offering the kind of tailored needs sort of service. But I mean, once again, this is very unfortunate. I mean, if you step into a movie theater like the UME, Huaxing, and then you will see rows of these machines back in the past, like you are stepping into this casino room in Vegas.
Full of slot machines, right?
Slot machines, all that stuff. And so it is confusing, I agree.
So they're basically offering the same service without any distinguished features. So from the user end, it's really hard for us to determine which machine should we use.
Right. I think it's basically kind of like not user-friendly. I mean, if you approach the machine and try to operate that one, I mean, everything looks the same and without the kind of a distinction that you are expecting. Everything is all about accessing the ticket, collecting your ticket, or see the seating, and also the screening schedules and all that.
We really don't need that many machines to be sitting around.
Nope.
Professor, we talked about all these companies basically trying to build an ecosystem, but a lot of them are actually stuck on the IT end of things. How can they actually branch out?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they can provide lots of ticket selling service. At the same time, they can also use it as a platform to sell other derivatives of films. For example, films now being screened in movie theaters. But offline, they can also provide multiple services. And to me, they can not just help to nurture this film culture, I mean, surrounding this very movie, this very particular cinematic phenomenon. At the same time, they can also run bookstores like this neighborhood movie theater in my district. At the same time, they can also, in a sense, put together a group of film lovers, film fans to organize small-scale seminars.
That's very interesting. A lot of these companies trying to leverage WeChat, but using WeChat has its pros and cons. Can you comment on the pros and cons of using WeChat?
Well, the WeChat can be an extremely easy tool to identify, to locate this very viewer. For example, by locating this viewer, you now know what profession he is involved, what kind of a salary, the income that he has, and also his viewing habit, what kind of a film that appeals to this person or this particular viewer. And secondly, I think that they can also help to collect, I mean, the overall data of this very viewer or a particular age group or a particular sort of film buff that have special interest in that very particular film. And lastly, I think, once again, I think that there's always a need for feedbacks from this very cinema or from this very movie theater or even this production company, so that they can improve the film quality in the future.
Now we looked at how many companies have used the internet to offer services to moviegoers. We'll look at how these companies actually make money when we come back. Welcome back. Many say the internet has made the film watching experience more pleasant. Let's take a look.
Movie ticket O2O companies have made going to the cinema easier and cheaper. At the same time, the consumer data they provide production companies is changing the way films are promoted and distributed. Production company Filmco Pictures promoted its movie The Monkey King 2 on the platform, and its box office reached 1 billion yuan during the Chinese New Year.
WeChat's platform is able to accurately locate the moviegoers. As the movie market has become larger, genres have become more and more distinct. Some moviegoers like family movies, like our The Monkey King 2, but others might prefer cop movies, love stories, or any other genre. Your movie might not appeal to a huge audience, but through their platform, or more accurately, their big data analysis, they can help us to accurately locate our audience.
Weiying Shidai's ticket ordering app Weipiao is a platform on WeChat and QQ. that covers more than 5,000 theaters and 90% of the moviegoers in China. The app has worked with several Chinese and international movies. By analyzing its users' shopping habits, it provides diversified buying methods, including WeChat Wallet and QQ Wallet.
We are backed by Tencent's two biggest social media platforms, WeChat and QQ, that have 600 million and 800 million monthly active users, respectively. So we are very confident that we are capable of adding a great deal of value to the industry and that we can help everybody increase their business.
Weipiao has made buying tickets easier for consumers and also has developed a smart system for the movie theaters through WeChat.
Smart theaters means helping the individual theater chains or theaters to register public accounts on WeChat. Through our system, they can become an independent e-commerce system. That is, they will immediately possess their own e-commerce platform on WeChat. That means that in terms of sales, they can independently manage their users and sales. By the end of 2015, 1,500 theaters had already registered into our system.
Jackie Chan Cinema has 35 cineplexes in China and was one of the first companies to use Weipiao's platform. Lu Ziming, the company's marketing director, has experience with both consumer and the theater feedback about the platform.
The feedback from the consumers has been great. To sum it up, people think that it is more convenient. Most other options require you to download an individual app before you can choose seats. But with smart theaters, that's not necessary. You just use WeChat. Moreover, smart theaters are interactive. You can set up a lot of choices, like ticket competitions and gifts, that increase user activity. Through this system, we have our own sales platform, which means we can set prices, do promotions, and sell tickets on our own. We can also analyze the data that we accumulate to evaluate each event that we organize.
Weipiao merged with Kawara at the end of 2015. Pintu 360's Liu Wanlan believes the combination of Kawara's dedicated user base and Weipiao's financial advantages can propel the new company to great heights.
If they're going to compete with Maoyan, they'll have to make full use of their advantages, like their WeChat users and WeChat payment. One thing that's very important in the movie ticket market is to cooperate with both ends of the market, from the production companies onward. That way, they have their own content. Only in this way will they be able to sustain development.
Weipiao has already completed its C-Series investment, attracting 150 billion yuan. The company plans to expand to cover movies, performances, and sporting events.
Professor, can you talk about the capitalization process for these companies?
Well, these companies are riding the wave of new economy. I think this IT economy, this computerizing economy, and so they have great things to sell. First thing first, I think it's the software system that they can sell, and secondly, by selling software, they can also integrate these softwares on one platform, and by, in a sense, excluding the kind of a multiple platform that are crowded in that very movie theater. And thirdly, I think they can also help with the content in terms of helping production companies to improve the quality and basically to produce sort of blockbuster value films.
I see. It's a long road to actually capitalizing on these models, but there's certainly a path to it.
Yes, absolutely. I think once again, this capitalization program has to utilize this very wave of a new economy. I mean, especially the IT economy now in this very country. Massive entrepreneurship can also be applied to this very field.
I see. Professor Tang, one advantage of using these machines is actually they can collect data from consumers pretty easily. They know exactly how much money you're spending, what time you're spending the money, and exactly what movie and at what time that you're watching at which location, right? So how can these companies actually better use this massive consumer data they collect?
Well, one thing for sure is that these companies can accumulate these data and use these data for these production companies. Production companies need data, for example, to decide whether these films and whether this theme or genre film will appeal to certain viewer or viewer groups or especially age groups. And right now, for example, I mean, the main body of this very film-going public are actually the young people in between 45 and perhaps 20. And this is the rising middle class with the disposable income and disposable time, I believe, in going into movie theater and watch. And so with these data, these production companies and movie theaters can actually increase the efficiency and also to improve the quality of the film and also try to come up with new genre films.
Hopefully that's the case. And these data in and out of itself actually worth a lot of money because you can analyze these data, make sure that a movie you put on in these movie theaters will actually be popular and marketable. Professor Tang, if we look at the growth of China's film industry, it's really extraordinary, especially when we look at the box offices for certain movies. But many experts actually have raised questions about the accuracy of these numbers. Many films have been accused of faking box office numbers. Can all these data be trusted?
Well, generally speaking, I think I do. I do trust these data, I do trust these numbers, and first thing first, I think the reason is because there is a very comprehensive kind of a monitoring system. It's computerized and really connected to the SARF and to various regulatory organizations in this very particular country. And also the Film Association have great this kind of a supervision sort of a system out there. And so underreporting, stealing box revenues can immediately be detected through this very computer system. But the general reason I trust this very data is, for example, this increased infrastructure of the cinema chains all across the country. And also, I think this growing middle-class viewing public in China, especially in the second and third tier cities. It's not just the first tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, but no, it's all about this China, I mean, nationwide.
We're seeing the building of the middle class, and we're also seeing many cinema chains going into third and fourth tier cities even to build up these theaters. And people's needs for entertainment for this kind of, so to speak, cultural foods is ever increasing. So those data, from that perspective, is actually very trustworthy.
Right. The data actually is trustworthy, I think, also has to do with other players like investors in a real estate project. For example, Wanda has a great project in each and every of these great third-tier and second-tier cities. And if you look at Wanda's project, you will see a cinema chain embedded into that very sort of real estate project in Beijing.
All Wanda,
all Wanda, has their own cinema.
That's right. Well, the film industry is booming in China. Let's look at the future of this sector when we come back. China's film industry has experienced tremendous growth in recent years, but some experts say it's still just a beginning.
The national box office results in China exceeded 40 billion yuan for the first time in 2015, a year-on-year growth of over 47%. The more than 6,200 movie theaters in China entertained 1 billion visitors during that period. Experts estimate that if that rate of growth continues, China's box office will surpass that of the USA for the first time in 2017. In 2015, 70% of the tickets sold in China were purchased online. San Mu is a well-known movie critic in China and publisher of the movie magazine Movies Weekly. He shares his views on the Chinese movie ticket market.
Many of the business models we see in China, especially among internet companies, are based on examples abroad. However, there aren't actually any good examples of online movie ticket sales abroad. This is a Chinese creation. It's something you only see in the Chinese movie industry. In other places, like the US, India, and so on, people are still very careful when it comes to online ticket sales. In the US, first of all, buying tickets online isn't cheaper than buying at the theatre. They don't want to rush into it. To us, selling tickets online is a revolutionary move that might have a huge effect on and provide models for the movie industry of the future. In terms of film as a medium, I believe that currently its future, history, culture, and all the different types of services aren't being managed very well. But I hope that these websites will be able to do something about that.
Movie O2O companies are becoming increasingly important to the promotion and distribution of movies in China. In this developing reality, customers are at the center. Ning Mengmeng, founder of movie marketing and sales company Yingshe Xuan Fa Zhua, shares her views.
We think that Maoyan, which is under Meituan, doesn't really provide a good enough user experience. First of all, the user interface isn't good enough. Secondly, the website runs really slowly. Moreover, it doesn't recommend movies that I want to see. This is a significant problem. Although Maoyan has very good distribution channels, it doesn't do sales very well. Its user interaction is also very weak.
The movie The Monkey King 2 announced in January that it would initiate strategic cooperations with Weipiao, Baidu Nuomi, Taobao Movies and Co-Movie during the Chinese New Year season.
If one platform becomes big and starts to contain both the movie theatres on one end and the production and distribution companies on the other, I don't think that's improving this ecosystem, but rather one platform using its position and market share to take a piece out of everybody else's share. The rest of us won't accept this kind of method. I believe that Weipiao, Baidu Nuomi, Taobao Movies and Co-Movie have the same goal, which is that everybody should cooperate well together to create a win-win situation. This is an important reason why we chose to work with them. If none of them capture the lion's share of the market, but instead work together, that will be a very good thing.
Maoyan is doing very well, but they can be a little hard to work with. So it's understandable if movies choose to work with the second, third, or even fourth biggest company if they can provide a better deal. And if they can get those second-tier companies to work together to balance out the leader, they can profit a lot from it.
Movie ticket O2O companies are working in two directions simultaneously. On the one hand, they're perfecting ticket sales services, and on the other, they're working their way towards the production and distribution end of the industry. We can only hope that consumers will be the biggest winners in the competition that is unfolding, and that it will lead to the healthy growth of the Chinese movie market.
Sir, we looked at so many companies that provide online platforms to sell movie tickets, whether it's through one machine, whether it's giving a platform to be able to combine all these machines together. But they're all offering the service that gives consumers the convenience of booking tickets on their cell phones. And are we going to see some industry giant like Wanda actually getting into the sector and maybe consolidating all these companies, buying these companies and make sure that they have this ecosystem built up?
Well, absolutely. I think I see a general trend in China that these great players in the market are trying to consolidate, not just consolidate their own industry, but also trying to cross the border. I mean, they cross into other industries. For example, a real estate company like Wanda, I mean, trying to cross into the film industry and try to embed the cinema into their real estate project. And in this sense, I think Wanda plays a kind of a pioneering role in China in terms of having a cinema, establishes cinema culture, and also at the same time, there are also software companies, IT companies coming up, following up with this software, movie-going apps and ticketing apps and all that stuff. And so I think it is almost like a crowd financing and crowdsourcing to build this very booming industry.
And that's right. And with someone like Wanda, they really have resources, whether it's capital resources or human resources, to actually contribute to this ecosystem as well.
Yes, I agree.
Professor, we talked so much about the e-ticket selling industry and also the film industry at large. But what do you think the future prospects are for the entire e-platform selling industry?
Well, I imagine almost like a cinematic cosmopolitanism. In that sense, I mean that cinema and film industry in general shall involve not just a particular industry, but it's going to be like multiple industries all kind of getting involved and contributing to this very ecosystem. And that very ecosystem would involve different sectors, for example, the financial sector, the IT sector, the real estate sector, and also, in a sense, I would say the creative industry, the so-called the creative culture here in China. And so I would see film industry as a kind of a front runner, I mean, in China's pursuit of this modernization, and also perhaps trying to lead China out of this very economic transitional period.
That's right.
And so I would see it as a kind of ecosystem, a kind of tertiary industry, all in a sense wrapped up into one.
That's right. As we experience this new normal for China's economic growth, the culture, especially the film sector, is definitely one to watch. Thank you so much for your insights today, Professor Tang.
Thank you for having me.
While Chinese audiences are growing, more theaters are being built and the movies are getting better. The consensus seems to be that China will overtake Hollywood as the biggest movie market in the near future. Once again, if you have an interesting business case to tell, make sure to email us at newmoney@cctv.com. Thank you very much for joining us this week on New Money. We'll see you again at the same time next week.